you're not of God. And so he makes an assumption. He says, you're of your father, the devil. Now, see, most people would say, well, you know, really, I'm not really very close to God. I don't want to be a hypocrite about it. I don't want to be pretending. I know that I'm not real religious. I know that I'm not real close to God. I know that I'm a hypocrite in a lot of ways, and they'll go down the list of all the things that they fail at. But they also then say, but I'm not all that bad. I'm not way off on that other end. And Jesus says, yeah, you are. You're just like the devil. You're just like the devil. You say, well, no. I've never committed murder. Jesus said the devil was a murderer from the beginning. But he didn't kill anybody. Who did the devil kill? I'm going to tell you who he killed. He killed Abel. But he didn't do it himself. He just did it by what he did in his whole life. His life ended up causing Abel to die. The way Satan killed is because of his doctrine, because of his way of thinking, and that's how he killed. And there's an awful lot of people nowadays that, because of their a lack of commitment to truth, a lack of commitment to righteousness, they're killing all the time. America is one of the deadliest places that ever existed in the world, ever existed in history. You just count the abortions, that would be good enough. Just to prove to you, and you say, well, how does that happen? I'm not doing it. Oh, yeah, you are. Every time you watch that pornography, you're doing it. Every time you support that one candidate that doesn't have a conviction about that, you're doing it. Every time you keep your mouth shut when somebody else says something wrong about it, every time you're in favor of fornication, every time you prefer that show with all the bikinis, you're doing it. What do you think? None of this has any effect? It all has an effect. Everything we do has an effect. And these effects go on, and they accumulate, and then they saturate, and after a while, we've got so much incredible confusion in our generation today. People are killing babies and don't even realize it's wrong. They don't even realize what's wrong with homosexuality. Anybody who's ever used an extension cord knows what's wrong with homosexuality. It doesn't work. It's not real. Amen. It's false. And yet, and it's deadly, by the way. Hey, it's deadly. Amen. This is deadly behavior. And you're so confused by it that you just let it go. And you just say, well, what can we do? What can we do? Maybe you could stand. Maybe you could stand up and say, no, I disagree with that. But then you lose your job. Well, there you go. You made a choice. Amen. You see what God is saying? If you're not with me, you're against me. Amen. If you're not a child of God, you're a child of the devil. Amen. I want to point out that God hates the devil. Because all these things that the devil is like, God's not like that. God's just not like that. For example, the devil is greedy. I mean, greedy. Just never has enough. Just wants more and more. You realize the story that the Bible tells, you have to piece it together. It's not all written in one nice little narrative so that you can figure it all out. But when you study the Bible enough and you can piece these things together and you know what is talking about what happened in the time before when the devil fell, you read over there in Isaiah 28, or you read over there in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, and you read in the end of Job, and you read these things that are actually talking about the devil and what he's like. This guy is greedy. He had everything. He was the greatest of the creation of the angels. He was superb. He was tremendous. But it wasn't enough. Never satisfied. Are you greedy? Do you ever get satisfied? Are you ever content with such things as you have? Come on, just stop deceiving yourselves. Start being honest. What do you like? Are you like God, or are you like the devil? I know that I in my nature am like the devil. I'm not content. I'm greedy. Amen. Amazing. I'm just like the devil. God hates the devil. He's selfish. Read over there in Isaiah where he says, if you see somebody that's truly not like you and you really don't like the way they are, well, you just can't stand them. You don't want to be around them. You know you're like that. Well, that's God. God doesn't like the devil.